So a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is day 3 of your Professional Development Week, May 2021. Our next virtual event will be on the topic of 7 essential preparation for starting your community pharmacy business. So today we are very privileged to have with us Mr. Loh Peng Yao, who is a National Council member of the Malaysian Community Pharmacy Guild, or MCPG for short, who will be sharing his insights on the subject matter. So please allow me to introduce him to you. Okay. So Mr. Loh is a registered pharmacist, a certified data science specialist, and the National Council member of the Malaysian Community Pharmacy Guild. He graduated with a Bachelor of Pharmacy degree from University Science Malaysia in 1994. Mr. Loh co-founded Constant Pharmacy in 1996, and in 2016, the retail pharmacy chain had been successfully acquired by Bio Alpha Holdings Berhad. So 2 years after assisting Bio Alpha Holdings Berhad in managing the retail pharmacy business, Mr. Loh left the company to pursue his postgraduate studies in pharmacy practice after completing his Master of Philosophy Pharmacy at Taylor's University last year. So Mr. Loh is actually one of our alumni. So Mr. Loh is planning to further his studies for PhD this year. So Mr. Loh had been very active in various government committees, such as Good Governance of Medicine, Good Pharmaceutical Trade Practice, Medicine Access from National Medicine Policy Committees, and he's also currently serving as a member of the Committee of Inquiry under Pharmacy Board of Malaysia. So Mr. Loh is also attached to the Zhu Qi International Medical Association, which works together with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in providing medical aids to the refugees living in Malaysia. Okay, so very illustrious career. So without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Loh. Mr. Loh, over to you, Mr. Loh.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Iswal, for the introductions and the School of Pharmacists, Taylor University, for giving me the opportunity to share my experience with the young minds here today. Today, my topic of presentation is 7 essential preparation for starting your community pharmacy business. Even though the title is about community pharmacies, I believe the insight you gain today would be quite helpful for any other business you may venture one day in the future. Okay. Now, before we go into it, just let me introduce the organization that I'm presenting today. This is a Malaysian Community Pharmacy Guild, or MCPG. It's a professional body for the community pharmacy in regard to the industry matter. Okay, aiming to enhance the pharmacy practice of the community pharmacies and to promote the pharmaceutical care to the public. So the photo show here some of the activities, like we are having dialogue with the health ministry, pharma industry, academicians, as well as conducting events to promote the professions. We accept pharmacy as well as a pharmacy student like you as member. If you are keen to know more about the community pharmacy industry, you can log on to the website to know more about that. Okay. All right. A little bit about my career journey. In 1996, I set up a community pharmacy with your friends, and after 20 years, we sold to the business to this public listed company. 2 years later, I chose to retire from the corporate business to pursue my postgraduate study at Taylor University in hope to see how I can contribute to the national healthcare system through my research work. I'm actually quite grateful that the research skill I gained from Taylor University actually provide me competitive edge for me to excel in various investment activity today. Okay, and you can notice that in the span of 22 years, I have transformed from employee to self-employed, a small business owner, and today investor. This is just the cash flow quadrant written by Robert Kiyosaki in his book Rich Dad Poor Dad. This will be the first book I will recommend you all to read up if you are looking into setting up business one day. Okay. Now, today my presentation will cover more on the 7 essential preparation, which you as a student actually can start to prepare now. Okay. I will touch a little bit on the role of community pharmacy, but not much. Basically, for you to manage your expectation, what you do when you go into the community pharmacy. Okay. And some go and point if you're going to choose community pharmacy as your career, Then what's the verdict? Is this the career for you? Is a venture for you? And at the end of the presentation, I will providing you all those link to the learning resources for you to learn more. Because due to the time constraint, it's impossible for me to go in detail to the area. But I think it's very important for me to point to the right direction, providing you the needed resource for you to learn more of them. Okay? Can everybody hear me? Mr. Iwan, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Okay, slow. Can.
Okay. Now, your first training ground during your PRP can be very useful because you gain specific experience and networking. So it could be useful for your next venture. Now, upon your graduation, you have various options to choose to do where do your PRP. Even in the community pharmacy, there are different structures. One is the corporate chains like Guardian Watson or BP Pharmacy. The other one is a pharmacy that owned by a group of pharmacies like Alpro, Multicare, AA Pharmacy. And another one is those independent pharmacy, those single change, pub and mom shop. Some may be owned by non-pharmacies. If you look into the long-term career to be employed, I mean, you have no intention to move out to be your own business, but just you have the passion to serve the public in the front line, then joining the corporate change will be very good for you because most of the time you will very much on the front end, not so much concerned about the HR issue, challenges, budget, financial thing. So it will be a good choice for you, for those who want to venture into that. But you're looking into a possible partnership with someone who has experience in the pharmacy business and you have some constraint in financial resources, then perhaps joining those group of pharmacy chains will be a good choice for you. Okay. And of course, if you think that you may want to open your own solo and with some stronger financial backup, you can also go to join to these independent pharmacies where you learn most of the thing, but quite messy, not so systematic. So of course, those who join the pharmacy own chain also can come up open your own solo, depend on your financial resources as well. There's not very much clear cut about that. Now this is important because you plan your PRP location or structure well is that it allows you to gain different experience as well as networking, which I will explain later slide. And lastly, please don't open nearby to the place that they provide you PRP. They are not so ethical to do that. This is my personal advice. There are two good references for you to look into it when you're doing a PRP. One is the Guide to Good Dispensing Practice. Then the other one is the Community Pharmacy Benchmarking Guideline. So at least you have a guide which should be the proper pharmacy practice. Okay. All right. Now, second, you need specific knowledge, interest, and skill to do well in community pharmacy business. Knowledge-wise, not concerned, you will gain them a lot in Taylor University. But you need to have a deep interest on people and also various type of products. Talking about product, it's not just about medicine you study. It's involved personal care, including shampoos, like we have wheelchairs, even baby product, milk powder. So the various kind of product, and you're going to be them long hour most of the time. So you have to make sure that you have such interest on this area. Of course, most pharmacy industry will involve you in interest in people. But if you are someone that who love animal more than the human or people, then you can actually explore veterinary pharmacies. Or if you are someone that you don't trust people, then you may look into stay in the enforcement pharmacy. The other one is you need to have skill in managing these various type of people as well as the product. This will give you some tips in the next slide. Now, to improve your skill in managing people, I would suggest you to pick up this DISC personality. Now, DISC stands for dominant, influential, steady, and compliance. I will provide you the link at the end of the slide, and you can do online test to see what is your personality. And you can also conduct this test to your future staff when they come in for interview. You can actually let them do this test. Why this personality test is important? Because Once you know a personality, you can assign job description for them or whether they're suitable to work in your company. Okay, and also how you deal with certain customer. Now, generally, people have all mixture of this personality, but people tend to have high in one area. For example, those in high D dominant, they come to you. They only ask one thing: is this product good? Good, then they'll buy. They don't want to know much about data, scientific evidence. They don't want to know. Even to tell them, they can't process that information. Compared to C, compliance, these people, they want to know what are the proof, what are the evidence. Any research show that this product is effective? This is the high C people. The high S, slow and steady, normally they make decisions very slow. So after you explain everything, they will say, let me check with my doctor first. Or let me check with my wife or husband first. You have to be patient with this personality. The other high I influencer, these people tends to more be convinced if a product is being advertised in newspaper. You say, this product advertised in TV, in Astro, this product also taken by Dato Siti Nurhaliza, who they tend to be more convinced. They are more on that. So understanding your behavior of customer, say you know that how to tackle to make a sales. Okay. Now, second is this NLP. NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. It's a kind of communication skill. It's quite useful for you to apply when you do the medication counseling. Okay. Now, under this NLP, there's one chapter called Visual, Audio, and Kinesthetic, or we call summarize this VAK. VAK. Okay. Now, basically mean that how people process information. Most of the population, they process information through visual. I think 90%, quite high, very high visual. Not many in audio and kinesthetic. Okay. Now, this skill show that when you try to introduce or explaining something to your customer or your patient, try to use all these VAK. Some people, they can only process information when they see it. So for example, this product, then you can show, this is good for vitality, for your eye. Let them see, then only know. Or when you do the counseling on the, let's say about sinusitis, how you get this sinusitis, because this is your nose, you see the nostril will be blocked. They need to see, they understand. So they understand these people are more on visual. And some are audio. Audio means that after you see, you show them, they can't get the information. So you might make some sounds like that. Remember, instead of pointing to the box, you can actually touch the box like that. Make some sound. When you make some sound, suddenly they alert it. Because they are more on the audio people. And you tell them it's tablet, may not understand what it is, but you shake, they hear the sound of tablet, then they can understand what you try to tell them. Kinesthetic are people like me a bit. They tend to move their hand. They like to touch. They need to touch something to feel. Then they're selling their blood pressure monitoring machine. Let them touch. Let them feel it. Come, sit down and take it, feel it. This is how you press this button. So they need to feel to get your message. Okay. So this can be all this very useful in making sales, staff hiring, and design job description. The other one very interesting is this under NLP is this eye movement. Eye movement. Now, it's believed that people tend to move their eyeball to the left. Look at to the left like that. When they think of something past. They will look to the right when they think of something future, something imaginative. They try to imagine something. If they try to recall something, their eyeball turn to the left a bit. So how you use this technique is that when you ask a staff, the potential staff come to interview in your shop, and you ask him a question. Why did you leave your previous company? Why you leave your previous company? You see the eyeball turn to the left and answer you, most likely he's telling the truth. But if he's turning the eyeball to the right and telling something, he try to imagine a picture, not the actual case why he left the company. He tries to create a story to tell you something. So mainly he's telling you a lie. So the same for the customer, telling you, hey, this product, Mr. Lu, I bought your next door pharmacy cheaper. So you can ask, how much is it? And see how the eyeball turning. The eyeball turning to the left and telling is 10 ringgit, then most likely telling you is true. But if turn to the right and try to figure out a number You sell what? You sell 10 ah? No lah, they sell 8 ringgit only. Then both sides is telling you the lie. You can use this type of tactic in your daily sales activity. Okay. You can also carry out experiment to your boyfriend and girlfriend. Ask them where did you go last night and see their eye turning the left and right. Okay. Right. To improve your skill in managing the product and also business operation, I would suggest you to see the business into the 5 section. We call business category of 5 areas. What are the 5 areas? Leads. Leads mean the traffic. How many people come to your shop? Even though not community pharmacy like this in the sales, how many people go into website to check your product? All this traffic lead. Conversion rate is that there are 10% come to your shop. How many people your staff are you able to make them buy? If let's say only 6, then it's 60% conversion rate. Average dollar sales each time they come in, or each sales, each transaction, how much is the value? Normally 20 ringgit or 30 ringgit. So each transaction, each people come in, they spend average 20 ringgit or 30 ringgit. Margin, of course, is you sell 100 ringgit, you earn 20 ringgit is 20%. How many percent of margin? Number of transactions mean that how many times this particular customer come to your shop in a period of time, maybe 1 month. So mostly they come in to buy the medicine once a month, right? We come in once a month. How to make them to come more than once a month, 3 times a month? Maybe you can give voucher them. They can only buy next week before next month expire. All these sales strategy you can think of through. Basically look at the business in the 5 section. Okay. Now this is very good for you to set KPI. KPI is key performing indicator lah. This is a big word, but actually means target lah. Okay. So you can set to your staff. Okay, I want this month you all must increase the average sales now 20 ringgit to 25. Then they'll think already how to 20-25 or selling this thing together, sell this thing together lah. So increase the average dollar sales. How to increase conversion rate? Maybe you can prepare them to sell this item. What are the sales script to say what first? This product from US, Pfizer, not popular, the white zinc one. All these sales script may help you to increase your conversion rate. Leads, of course, is simple. It's more marketing, how you advertise, leaflet lah, or you have some live show in this media, blogging. Margin, of course, is two product. Two product, sell something with higher margin. Okay, you get a higher margin. Some brand like Blackmore brand compared to maybe what other brand? This Blackmore and for example, Total Image brand. See which one higher margin. Number session I mentioned just now. Okay. Next is in terms of management of the product. Also, those who work in the industry, in the factory as well. 6 Sigma analysis is very useful. Under them, one of them is SKU rationalization. So you can control your stock, not too much, because stock is money. It tie your cash down. So not too much stock on that. Okay. Then also DMAIC is good for you to start up a new project. If you work in the company, the boss gives you to carry out a new project. You can use this 6 Sigma DMAIC to help you to do the project. DMAIC is what? DMAIC is define. So you define a project first. What is the objective? What is the target we want from this project? Then how we measure if we already achieve this target? And then analyze where are we now compared in what we want to achieve. That's the gap. So that's how we analyze the thing. How we going to improve from here to there. And after that, how we going to control? We can continue grow. So this provide you a very good acronym to the step, your mindset. How do you actually manage a project? Same to solve the problem. How you define, how we define this problem? How to measure if the problem is solved? How we analyze to now problem and to no problem? How do we improve? And how we control that the same problem not happen again and again? Of course, easier way is to have a SOP lah. Okay. SOP wise, I would suggest you look into this process mapping. Process mapping also under 6 Sigma. He allow you to draw some chart like square, round, and thing. It will avoid a lot of confusion in step by step. So when you have to draw SOP or any process for your company, then you can look into process mapping. Again, all these things, not to worry. My job is point you to the right resources. I will give you all the link later on in the end. You can look to more detail how they can carry out. Okay. All right. Now, third, we need to ensure there are sufficient funding to avoid your business to die off prematurely. Okay. Now, for setup, normally this one a lot of people ask me how much you need to set up a pharmacist. Now, for setup for a normal shop lot, 2 aircon, like that, 1 kaiser system, usually you may need about 110 to 150,000 around that. Okay. Inventory is stock. Inventory, I mean medicine, stock, all the product, health, your personal care product, we call it inventory, stock. Now, inventory usually about 100, 150,000 also. But usually you don't pay upfront cash to the supplier. You are given normally about 2 months. Today now mostly 2 months. My time was 3 months, 1 month to 2 months. Little bit is cash, some are cash, okay. For them, some medicine you share with your friend, you have to pay your friend cash, you see. So some are cash. But so it won't come to immediately 150,000. Okay. So of course, having some agent fund is good. 6 months is just a standard. Understand what is a break-even operation profit. If your monthly expenses is 25,000 and your profit margin 25%, that means you sell 100,000, you gain 25,000. That means basically your break-even profit is 100,000. I mean that this month you're going to make 100,000 sales for not making loss. Above that is making money, making profit. Okay. Now, what happened? You only make 50,000 sales for the first few months. Okay. You must understand that the 100,000 is break-even point. Okay. But your expenses is only 25,000. So your cash in 50K, your cash out 25K, you're still alive. Your business is still in operation. So not too much concern for the first few months, but make sure that the sales is increasing over the next few months. Okay. The other alternative, of course, you have some backup loan. Backup loan on that. But sometimes today the bank loan you will see because you are new, so they may ask for 1-to-1 ratio or 1-to-2 ratio. 1-to-2 ratio means that you want to borrow 200,000. You're gonna give me 100,000 as the FD first. Fix the FD. So the FD will be how long in the bank? Maybe 2 years. If you're going to take 2 years to return their 200,000 to pay back that 200,000. So it may something like that. So it's good. You still need some backup. But it's good to have extra money, extra there for the emergency. The other one is a big risk taker This one what I did 20 years ago I wouldn't really encourage you to do that unless you're very gung-ho because entrepreneurs is unstoppable Entrepreneurs are all crazy people Risk taker means that they only have enough just for the setup and the delivery of stock, and they hope that the turnover sale will be able to pay continuous. It's quite high risk, but it's possible. I need to introduce to you also. Just to let you know about this. Now, there are 3 financial statements that you need to know. Not too many financial jargon, but 3 you need to know. One is the cash flow statement. Actually, it's a priority, but it tends to be overlooked because you receive cash from your customer and you pay your supply by credit. By credit, I mean that 2 months, 3 months later. Okay, but it's very important. Profit and loss statement for you to do your tax. Balance sheet, you study more after when a company start to be established. Before that, you don't really look into much in the balance sheet on that. Not to worry, actually you got to pay your tax yearly. So eventually you also need to outsource to a small firm. They come to you if your company is just a partnership or just a sole proprietorship. Once a year, they'll come to you to assist you how to do your tax. If yours is a Sdn Bhd, then of course you have to pay that every month. Every month with a monthly fee, a secretary fee, but small amount. So they'll ensure that you pay your tax properly or do your account properly according to Malaysia rules of finance. Okay, and this accounting firm code is that they able to help you to actually set up your company. So before you start company, they actually look for these people they actually help you to get the name of your company. You give them 3 names, then they go and submit, then apply for you to get 1 name back for you. And if you are Sdn Bhd, they can assist you to do your MMA. MMA is a memorandum and association. Some company, those bond 24, also all the documentation that you need. Okay, so it's good to outsource. Don't be so good. Just outsource a bit 100, 200 for them to do this for you. Or else you got to go down there to department here and there, rocking and now wasting your time. Now 4, some people need business partner because of financial constraint. Okay. Now, the minimum requirement I would suggest is someone that you have worked with before, and hopefully is also a pharmacy. Why a pharmacy? Because I don't see very good happy ending for those partnership between pharmacy and non-pharmacy actually. Now, because the non-pharmacy may not understand what pharmacy can and cannot do, and sometimes they question about your salary also. Hey, how come you take 5,000 per month so high? They don't know outside market. They are taking 6,000 or 7,000, and you work full day. They are not working full day some more. Yeah, so it's good to at least someone you work. The partner is a pharmacy also, and someone you worked before. So the chemistry is there. You know the chemistry works. This is why very important that where you do your PRP, that you work with them before. Of course, if you do your PRP in hospital and then you eventually you decided to set up business in community pharmacy, can, but you work for other people first to see the chemistry is there, you see the system is there. Another thing is, if happen to be this minority partner, because of financial constraint, basically you hold 30%, other people hold 70%. Make sure you have dividend policy in your partnership agreement. Many people set up company partner no agreement one. After that, when the company grow big, issue, or company going down also issue. So best to have partnership agreement. And if you are minor this shareholder, best to have dividend policy. What do you mean by dividend policy? Dividend policy means that if your business profit, let's say a certain amount, so certain percentage must be taken out to declare as a dividend to you. Why this is important? Because your partner may be much more richer than you. They may not need the money. They may want to use the money for keep on expanding. But you may need the money to buy a house, get married, So it may be unfair for you because they hold majority and they decide everything. See? So it's good to have the dividend policy to ensure some profit declaration each year. But usually certain percentage, 20% or something 10%, not too much. Okay. Now, in any business investment, this is not just about business. This is my advice to everybody who want to put their money to any form of investment. There are two very critical elements we need to look into. One is there must be a transparency in terms of profit and losses. When you invest, put your money in your friend's business or any business, make sure that you know the profit is real profit, the loss is real loss. Not that they just tell you, oh, we are making loss, but you have no idea they are telling true or not. If we invest, nowadays they have this, you can invest your money into overseas property, give you a paper that you own the land. After 3 years later, you get how much back? Then before 3 years, after 3 years, you want to get money back and say, oh, the one got flooded 5 years, the system not set up, we cannot sell the land yet. Then you don't know it's true or not. There's no transparency on that. Yeah. Second, hope they have some exit strategy. That means that you can decide to pull out your investment. Now, for example, you invest the money in your friend's business, then you find that the business doing well, not doing well, you want to exit out. You don't mind losing half of it, but are they allowed you to lose to move out now, or your money 100,000 will be continued there? Make sure you have an exit strategy. I like stock market because stock market is quite transparent. If I buy the stock, Asia stock, it may loss. The share price drop. I make a loss, but at least it's transparent. I know that Asia making loss. Okay, and I can exit. Maybe I lost 10,000, but I can exit because I decide on that. I take responsibility of my loss. Okay, so that's one thing that you must fulfill transparency and exit strategy. The other are these two. Make sure you learn this, remember this, because later on you may go very rich. Some people may come to you all the investment scheme. Make sure these two things is fulfill the criteria. It will save you from all future investment scam which are disadvantageous to you. Any investment come to you, ask yourself these two questions: whether it's transparent or you can exit strategy. Secondary, return on investment is secondary, but a lot of people look at this is more important. Actually, it's not. The ROI, return on investment, is actually just secondary, and not just about the percentage. Understand also the value you take back. I give you 100% return in 1 year, but you can only get 100 ringgit, also useless. It cannot be your passive income. Fourth is duration. You would want to be too long. I would prefer 5 years, give me 100,000. instead of 30 years, 1 million now. I don't know whether I can live up to another 30 years or not. We don't know what happened. Yeah, so not too long. But anyway, this is secondary. I cannot emphasize more is you really need to look into the transparency and exit strategy. Okay. Now, fifth, good location, a strategy location. Now we may not need a bigger shop now. We may need smaller shop. But at this point of time, we still need a physical shop for this counseling and medicine sales. Even though many items still already can be sold online. Okay. So what are they? First, the people staying there, the community, because the shop physical is there. Hopefully, we get target market which is late 30 years old or senior citizen. We try to avoid too new, very new housing, just open and nobody stay or just people start to move in. Because most of them are young couples. They are highly committed in their housing loan, their young children, baby, education. So quite committed. So they don't have much disposable income. Okay. Then of course, middle to high income. We don't want to go to the place where very poor area. They have no money to buy your product. Mixed ethnic is good because some products, some product may be more, the Chinese may like it more, or some product Malay may like it more, Indian more, or Southern more. So it's best to make. Some have this foreign worker, Indonesian, Bangladesh, also very good. They also can got money to buy. So mixed ethnic is always good. Talk to the few real estate agent. When you go to a shop lot, they tend to post a lot of this contact. Call the number, you don't want the shop, doesn't matter, call them to say, hey, I want your shop, everything, how much? Then ask, after asking about how much, trying to ask, hey, how's this location, popular or not, famous? Sometimes they'll tell you the truth. Yeah, this area cannot rent out, nobody asks. They can be very honest to you because they got other shop. They tell, hey, you go to other shop better. This shop not so good. They may tell you this. Or they may tell you, oh, this is good because next year, this opposite going to open the shopping mall already. They already know. Ask for more information. And see whether there's any traffic generator, any healthcare center nearby, hospital, shopping complex, restaurant, food traffic. Parking is good, but normally parking, good places normally very difficult to get parking also. And car workshop try to avoid because tend to be very dirty and they occupy a lot of space, parking space for your customer. Avoid that. And see whether there's any competitor. If there's a similar size competitor, what you're going to open, then it's not good because there's no differentiation on that. If there's one single biggest, talking about one pharmacy, don't just mention the name, big one, then they have a lot of customer in already. So it's good. It might be good because you already attract the traffic for you. They already advertise all the healthcare product for you. Okay. If there's no competitor at all, might be good, might be bad. Because sometimes it let you spend 2 years there, set up everything. The market, you will pick out the market in 2 years, then people come in, take your market again. It may not be good. The last one is you don't learn in internet. This one is my experience sharing with you to get the data. Okay, actually you can get this actual sales data of your future competitor from the Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia e-info. You can also know the next door coffee shop or next door hardware shop how is their sales by using their service. You just pay about 30 ringgit, log into that, you can get to that. But make sure the company is Sdn Bhd. If the partnership then or sole proprietorship, they may not able to, they are not listed in for only Sdn Bhd. For example, this company, this pharmacy, this is a pharmacy. This is a pharmacy. Because my last job is M&A, merging acquisition. I buy and sell pharmacy. So I meet a lot of retail pharmacy. So this is one. Now from this SME info, I'm able to find out their sales. Revenue is sales. Revenue is just another word for sales. 4.9 million. This is quite before 1 million in 1 year. In 2006. I mean, one month of 400,000 sales, quite huge. Don't worry about profit and loss. This one they claim themselves, so they pay less tax. But look at the sales, it's quite high. So you know that this pharmacy, this area only this pharmacy, and the sales quite high, and this area is quite big, quite good market. Okay, entrepreneur doesn't like rules and regulation. We all know that. We tend to bend the rule and all that thing. But there are few important company and employment act that we must not ignore. We really need to know. It will lead us into a big trouble. Okay. First is those compulsory salary reduction of your staff. like those EPF lah, SOCSO, PCP, the tax, this PTPT loan recently, those they also deduct your staff if they have PTPTN loan. Okay, some of your staff may come to you, hey, I need the cash flow, I need cash. I don't want you to consider EPF lah. You also don't deduct my EPF. Some staff may come to you with this. Don't buy into that. Please don't buy. This you have to follow. If you buy into that, you never know. After a year or two, your staff may backstab you. This one don't fool around. This one you must follow. Okay. Of course, there are also labor law to look into, like working hour permitted, annual leave, how many days, medical leave, what are the observed public holiday. You can open a shop in the Agong birthday or not. All these things you must know about that. Overtime, how to claim overtime, how to calculate overtime, what are the E form, EA form. Okay. And also, you want to terminate the staff, what are the actual process? It's not like you watch at the TikTok that, you don't need to come to work tomorrow. It's not that easy as that in Malaysia. It's not in China. You need to have 3 warning letters for him, or some serious case may have domestic inquiry. You can actually join this association, this federation called Malaysia Employer Federation. So when you have critical issue on staff, they can actually pay them a small fee, about a few hundred like that. They can actually represent you to maybe to see this labor office in government to settle the thing for you. Okay. Of course, when business grow big, we are pharmacy, we are not doing all these things. So when business start going big, it's good to get a HR manager to take all this headache from you. So your job is still in the pharmaceutical care to the patient. Okay. Now, 7. Okay. Now we touch on the business community and exit plan. How do you going to ensure that the business continue when you and your business partner no more around? And how you can plan to exit to pursue other interests or your retirement. Everything must start from the end of the mind. Somebody said that before. So before you do something, look at future first. What you want to achieve at the end. Then only you work on that. Okay. Now, business continuity plan is for you to prepare for unplanned happening to you or your business partner by having a company or partnership insurance. Also, you need to have a will as well for your personal benefit on that. Okay, what happens is that if let's say so happen that your business partner pass away, so bad, pass away, and your business partner actually holding majority of share, they hold 70% and you hold 30%. Okay, so the insurance company will actually pay the company value to your business partner. So let's say you already stated in your insurance that your company actually worth 1 million. Okay, 1 million. So actually your partner share is 700,000. So the insurance will pay 700,000 to your business partner, and you will own 100% of the share. Okay, if you don't have this, that means the 70% share of this your partner will give to the wife or husband or the family members. So imagine that now you become a minority share. They are the major shareholders. So the family may come into your place to say, I want this and that, it will interfere in your business operation. So make sure you have that in place, especially you are this minor shareholder. Okay. Now, RTJ's business life cycle tells us that all business have its own circle, from startup to die off. So you might decide, whether before it die off, you sell up, or you have to continue innovate to make sure that the company keep on making profit. Okay. So let's say if you want to exit, of course, if the company can keep on doing profit, that's the best. But not many business actually can last more than 20 years. So, but if you decided to exit, then you should plan early also, so to perhaps to get money, so you can pursue other interests and just enjoy your life. Okay. Okay. How to make your business attractive to investor and buyer? Of course, first must be profitable. But if not so profitable, at least they are higher sales volume. So you know that you're going to sell in these 2 years, but you see your profit so and so, not very low and not very high. So do something, do more discount already. You want to have the sales figure to be very outstanding. Okay, because before people may buy, they will see your last 3 year audit account. They see your sales is going up. Profit a bit low doesn't matter, because they believe they come in, the profit will go up, but they see the sales going up. Okay, so they will carry out a due diligence. They will send an accountant come to your place to check. So you cannot lie to them. Don't lie to them also. Okay, They're all in detail. If you have a company system, would be good, so it can run without you. Especially if they want to take all 100%. Especially those published company. You have a talent team. At least have a good organization chart. Will draw up who in charge of who. Okay. Distributor network means that you may have branches. You have single branch, a bit difficult to sell. You have at least 6 branch above. Then will be more attractive to them. Market awareness, go and join some business group, BMF, which teach so that let your company name know. So in any company function, they say, this guy from this pharmacy, from this one, they are very, very good. They have 6 outlets, how many outlets? Then you tend to get those potential buyer. Okay. Having company vision, mission is good. And also you may need to choose a good suitable investor or buyer so that they can synergistic, you have built your company brand for so many years and put an effort, so you want it to grow, continue growing, right? So at least when buyer come in, it's synergistic, it grow your company, and they themselves are making profit. And also your staff cannot go with you if you left the company. Your staff still need to cari makan, still need to work. So at least the staff welfare is also taken care of. Okay. Now a touch on the role of community pharmacy. Basically, just for you to manage your expectation, what you're going to expect when you go to community pharmacy. Okay. So basically, there are 2 main roles. One is healthcare provider, one is business manager role. For healthcare provider, the role including treating minor illnesses like cold and flu, and then medicine dispensing, and other medication counseling. Okay. Now, in my study, master study with Taylor University in 2017, we find that actually majority of the community pharmacy also do health screening and monitoring. I mean those blood tests for NCD, non-communicable disease, monitoring their diabetes, hypertension, and see quite high, 99%, 90% also promoting all those vitamin supplements. So you may not study much here in the curriculum, I think. So you need to study more on vitamin supplement, and more than half stating they're doing medical review, weight management, and smoking cessation. This is for you to manage expectation. For business manager role, as what the WHO or FIP stated, is more on distribution of the medicine to the hand of the patient. So of course, that's basic, where you get the product, purchase, storage, marketing, depend on which company you work with. If you work with a group of pharmacy, young group pharmacy, they may need you to appear in the video, in those social media, in those live show. In other company may not, so depend company on that. Sales, of course, staff planning, accounting, and business assessment plan may have if for owner. Now, pro and con as a career. Now, the pro is that it provides you opportunity to venture in the business, because to achieve financial freedom. Now, what is financial freedom? Is that financial freedom doesn't mean that you can drive a Lamborghini or stay in a big bungalow. It's not that. Financial freedom basically means that you don't really need to work for the money to sustain your life, living costs. Okay, you actually have enough the money to generate more money for you. So you also need to control your expenses as well. Okay, obviously you're considered freedom on need to work. Okay, now the other one is it also provide you the wide networking opportunity for the next career and life development. Because in retail pharmacy, you tend to meet a lot of people. So one is possible the sales rep pharmaceutical company. So at least you know, Abbott good company, a Bayer good company, or Pfizer better company, or maybe local YSP good company. You know, because you meet the people there. Okay. Job satisfaction because you help the patient directly. Your customer is directly your patient. Unlike your friend in the sales, their customer is the doctor, not the patient. So you get more job satisfaction on this. And you don't have this on-call, midnight on-call stress like your friend working in the hospital. And your office hour usually not start at 8, but normally 10, and you don't end at 5. So you avoid all those traffic jam. You can also plan with your employer on your flexi hour. So at least you can certain hour for your family. Your hands on the latest available medicine, all the medicine just surrounding you. You can, of course, as a staff, you can buy most of the product in pharmacy at a discount or staff price. Now the con is you must understand there's a lack of this supporting legal and regulation framework and regulation for us to practice co-pharmacy practice. Now, what is co-pharmacy practice? I would say that as a pharmaceutical care. Pharmaceutical care through identifying, rectifying, or preventing the drug-related problem. There's not much opportunity for us to do that because of the action of separation of prescribing and dispensing. So you must know about that. And you could be easily replaced because your job is not really specialized compared to regulatory affair, academic, and clinician. So you have become jack of all trades but master nothing. Okay. There might be not much room for your career development. Your salary increment will be limited after your service. In beginning, your initial salary will be higher compared to the other, your friend normally. Let's say 5,000 and the rest 3,000 or 4,000. But 10 years down the road, your maybe just 10,000, but they can be 20,000 for them. So that's the difference on that. But sometimes the early money is important. You want to buy a house today, 10 years later, the house price even going up already. Yeah, so you also cannot at the time to buy, too late also. Okay, you need to be also innovative. Without innovative or niche, at the end, you're facing all the headache of the price war. Which means that you may need your own product, doing OEM product. You may encounter rude or impatient customer. You don't know when you meet the next moment. Working hour sometimes is off office hour. Weekend, sometimes holiday is a good sales day. So you have to work on holiday, public holiday or school off day. So you may sacrifice certain family time. Again, it depends on what company you work with. You can discuss with your employer on this thing. Now the verdict, okay. Now, corporate pharmacy may not be your long-term career. You are not entrepreneur type of person, okay. You are not those who want to venture in the business. Of course, I would put here, putting your passion aside. If passion come in, of course, you don't need any reason. Just jump on it. So now we try to put it up, the passion aside, okay. If you are very quiet people, personality, you don't like socialize, so it may not suit for you. You prefer consistent timetable, 9 to 5 one. You don't like changes. Your working hour change, after product also change. Then it may not be for you. Well, corporate pharmacy could be a good career for you if you have a strong desire for financial breakthrough through a business venture. Now for M40, for M40 population to be millionaire, you know M40 is median income 40, right? Those household income about 11,000 money and below. We have T40 top 20%. Then we have M40, median 40, and we have B40 also bottom 40%. Okay, so for M40 group of population, for most majority of us, M40 to be millionaire, there's mostly two legal channels, most practical. Of course, some say, direct sales also can, but two channels I see the most practical. One is going through your own business. Second is your property investment. Property from small lot to BBB lot. So for M40 to billionaire, business is one a very good option. So this working in the community pharmacy as career provide you such opportunity for you to go into business. You are business-minded, creative, and energetic. Of course, energetic is related. Don't wait for you're 50 years old only want to come out your community pharmacy business. They may not be good for you. Okay, you have to be focused. For the first few years, you make sure you are able to strike well with it. You're going to get promoted or to be your own boss. You have to be first few years, not too long. Because when your age catching up, I mentioned as a generalist, you are not specialized in anything. Don't tell me 10 years later only you think you need to change to regulatory or other thing. Can, but a bit difficult. You may not get able to get a job also, because you are not specialized in any field. You know almost everything. Okay. Okay, so this end of slide, I'll present you all this link, all the benchmark, good dispensing, practicing. I also provide you some method how you're able to get information of community pharmacy in Malaysia. Where they are, who are the pharmacies, their location, everything, address is all there. So there's a step by step. I'll provide the PDF file to Mr. Ewa on this. Some of the link I mentioned now, I think. Carry out some personality tests on yourself. Okay. Okay, I would like to end my presentation with a good opportunity. Does not waste time with those who are unprepared. Only by preparing, you see all event or even crisis for other people as opportunity for you to go stronger. Okay, so with that, I open the floor maybe for Q&A if they have any.
Thank you so much, Mr. Low. I think everybody will agree, right? This is a very comprehensive, very generous sharing, real life industry insights and experience, okay, from a real life practitioner. Wait, so I'm going to switch off my camera. Yeah, I think it's causing lagging. Right. So please, students, if you have got questions, please feel free. I invite you to switch on your mic, switch on your camera. You can ask Mr. Low directly. Okay. If not, you can also type your questions in the chat box. Okay. Mr. Low, we've got one question from Yong Kai Shin. Okay. Hi, Mr. Low. First of all, thank you for the very informative session. I'm a final year pharmacy student and would like to get your advice towards the opportunity of completing PRP in community pharmacy, given this pandemic at the moment. Aside by that, what are your thoughts on starting a community pharmacy at the moment? Yeah, so your advice towards the opportunity of completing PRP in community pharmacy during pandemic, during our crisis, pandemic crisis. Secondly, what are your thoughts of starting a community pharmacy at the moment?
Okay. If let's say it was last year when the pandemic just started, then I would not advise anyone to do their PRP in the community pharmacies. But over the 12 months, I can see my pharmacy friends, they are doing very well in terms of SOP and everything. So I do not see any concern for you now to start your PRP, or because now final year, maybe you start your PRP next year in community pharmacy. I do not see any concern for this pandemic, because most of the pharmacies, community pharmacy, I know they have a very well SOP all in place already. And it's also good, you can choose, right? No? You can go and see also which pharmacy that have a good this SOP as well. So it's not going to be a concern for that first question. Second, starting a business, I will have two answers on this. One is a very obvious no one. Is this happened, for example, let's say we are like in Hong Kong last year, when students are on riots, that they are, because of political instability, they are not happy with the China intervention and everything, and they block the road. You can't even go out to work, And the other now is when the lockdown, totally locked down, and you can't really go out. You have to close shop. So this is always no. But now, MCO, things go as normal, possible lockdown, even though there's lockdown also wouldn't be, a long period. Then for entrepreneur, I mentioned that there's unstoppable one. Entrepreneurs unstoppable one. So there's no such thing as right time or not right time for this scenario for the entrepreneur to go up. Because entrepreneur, you can change creativity, how to change the thing, business, selling online, offline, and everything. So it is unstoppable. So I hope my answer is correct. First one is always no one. No one is common sense. But for this current Malaysian, there's no right time or wrong time. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Loh. Yeah. Do we have any other questions? Oh, we have a very long questions. Okay. All right. Let me read. Thanks. This question from Yi Xian. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Thank you, Mr. Loh, for the informative session. I definitely learned a lot. Based on my past experience, I'm aware that many community pharmacies supply Group B drugs without prescription. They mostly sell based on past sale record, in which I'm unsure is legal. I understand it is sort of a grey area and arguable in many ways, but I feel uncomfortable knowing that I might be against the law in my practice. I also understand that the current policy and regulations aren't really favoring community pharmacies now. Community pharmacies. May I know what is your take on this and the future of community pharmacy practice in Malaysia in the future, the rights and position of community pharmacies in Malaysia? Mr. Loh, are you okay? You want me to repeat the question?
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I try to answer the question. If I miss out certain question, then you ask me again that. Okay. You can bring up. Okay. So first is about the Group B sales poison by community pharmacy. Yes. First of all, we must understand, in any part of the country in the world, all community pharmacy without dispense separation those countries without dispense separation, none of them will follow strictly the rules of not selling poison B without prescription. You look into even South Korea, before they have this dispensing separation, the pharmacy also selling poison B without prescription. So perhaps only Singapore, because it's a very small island country, they can control. But all other countries like Malaysia, without dispensing separation, no community pharmacy will stick to that law. This is just for your information, so you don't see Malaysia so bad lah. This is basically just to let you know the current situation on that. Now, second, definitely yes, it's against the rules, and actually it's quite currently still the fine is not that high, 3,000 and 5,000, and the boss may pay for you, but you have to end out in the court, go to the court, everything, all this. It might be very, not very good for your moral, and some people don't have that guts to go to the court. Okay, but with the new Pharmacy Act, if this is going through, which actually are against the new Pharmacy Act, a lot of things are not very good. New Pharmacy Act, I mean, the fine can be 100,000, 50, 100,000 like that. So it's very high amount. This I don't think your employer or boss is going to pay for you or anything. See, so if for you are those so concerned about this, even though the charges, all this case penalty is very low very low, because I believe the government will understand the current situation compared to other countries. But if it's so concerned for you, you must understand not all community pharmacies are doing that. Some pharmacies are not doing that. However, I say those chain pharmacies, those corporate chain pharmacy, you can go into that. Or some corporate chain pharmacy, I cannot tell you the name that advertise for them. Some chain pharmacy, they also link with the doctors one. So most of the poison B is already have the prescription already. So not to concern. You don't want to know who, you can email me. It's not good for me to advertise their pharmacy here. So there are options for you for that. Okay. Other question that I missed out, Mr. Iwa? Mr. Iwa?
Oh, sorry, I was unmuted. Sorry. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Loh. Yishan, do you need a follow-up question? Yishan? Okay. Can I also invite other students, if you have any questions to ask Mr. Loh, you can unmute your mic and ask directly. Do we have any other questions?
Hi, Mr. Loh. My name is Shannon, fourth year pharmacy student. So I think most of us kind of like choosing between like hospital, community pharmacy, and also the industry pharmacy at the same time. And for community pharmacy as well, like we know it's not just about like practicing a pharmacy that simple in that sense, and it's a business eventually. And I think some of us, I have discussed this question with my friends, like whether like selling supplements and gaining revenues and selling supplements that you know might not be very useful for the customer at the same time, but you still need to sell it to maintain the business. Like, what is your take on this, of between gaining the revenue to sustain your business and also whether is it benefiting your consumers and patients? Yeah.
Okay, first you have to see what are the roles you are playing. If you are looking at the perspective of the PRP, because the perspective of PRP and the perspective of the business owner is two different angle. Okay, you mentioned about the PRP. So PRP, of course, I can't deny the practice in the community pharmacy very much business sided. Maybe I would say 80% or even 90% in the business side, and not so much in our core pharmacy practice. Now back to the core pharmacy practice. What is our core pharmacy practice? Is pharmaceutical care. Anything that allows us to identify drug, preventing, and rectify drug-related problem. We must always understand our core pharmacy practice is, and only or perhaps in hospital pharmacy and industrial allow you to do that more compared to the community pharmacy. Okay, so this one I can't deny on that. So in the perspective of PRP, if you look into professionalism or your practice, your skill on that, then PRP in the community pharmacy may not be your choice. I promise that it may not be your choice. I would suggest you look into hospital, but hospital I know that it's very difficult to get in, or at least industry or anything. Industry, one thing good about industry is that under industry there's one regulatory affair. You can look into that, into very specific and niche area. So they are more into really our core pharmacy practice. In community pharmacy, yes, for PRP, not so much on that. That is from the perspective of PRP. Okay. So, but in the perspective of business owners, are different things altogether. In the perspective of business owner, they don't mind. We don't mind about having 80% of business, only 20% of this pharmacy practice, because eventually we look into more than just professionalism. For me, I look into not just pharmacy practice. For me, I look into my personal life. I'm able to gain from the business. I'm able to achieve my financial freedom. Today, I told you I retired at the age of 49. I continue doing volunteer job in this pharmacy care. I've also, hopefully my research work will help in the country national healthcare system. So it's a different perspective altogether. But again, back to your question, as a PRP perspective, if you look into that professionalism as your top choice and not entrepreneurship, I mentioned just now, entrepreneurship, venture business, then the community pharmacy not your first choice.
Thank you, Mr. Law. I think you did answer my question. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Loh. Right. Last chance, guys. Do you have any other questions to ask Mr. Loh? This is a very good opportunity, all right? If you have any questions that you can ask Mr. Loh. We are mindful of the time, so please, if you have any questions, go ahead and you can ask Mr. Loh directly. Okay. So I think there are no other questions, right? So thank you so much, Mr. Loh. With that, we've come to the end of our webinar today. Thank you so much once again for your time and for your very generous sharing of your insights.